for inviting me. Thank you for being here. Special shout out to some friends who are here and just make it extra special for me because I'm not from here. And I'm going to read from my new book that just came out. It's called Blue Hours, and it's about, among other things, I guess in a very general way, the power of love to tug us out of our bubbles and across borders. And I'm going to read, because the theme is wilderness, I took this kind of literally, because in this book and a very late part of the novel, my characters end up in the wilderness. In the second half of this novel, an American woman has gone to eastern Afghanistan to help find a friend who has gone missing. And in this late part of the book, she has, through a series of seemingly benign decisions, now found herself trekking in the mountains, and she's dressed for safety reasons as an Afghan male in a tunic with matching pants and a turban. She's with three men whose names you don't necessarily need to keep straight in this section, but the important one in this, the most important one actually, I guess in the book, is the youngest one, Asim, who's a young Afghan guide who has been hired back in Jalalabad by her friend. And what you need to know in this section, I guess, is just that he learned English from American contractors. The oldest man of these three is named Ismail. He's a half-British guy who has lived in Afghanistan for many decades. And they've just been joined in this section by a villager named Rafiq. And he's leading them to where they think her friend is. It's decided we'll leave the donkeys here, can't risk a noisy animal announcing our arrival. So we leave on foot, a steady climb up paths I'm not even sure are trails. The earth no longer feels packed down by travel. Few people must use this route. Yet this is the way Rafiq has chosen for us, cutting across a shape-shifting terrain of boulders and gullies and copses smelling of spruce. My skin is really dry now, cracks of blood at my knuckles, dust trapped in the cracks and under my nails. The altitude makes every step a labor. I try to inhale slowly, as if that might help me take in more oxygen. Sometimes, catching my breath, I hear a sobbing sound. Other times, the mountain flattens out and my lungs rest from their exertion. We pass rushing brooks and caves along the cliffs, a landscape of fairy tales, of magic forests, billy goats, ogres. Bin Laden might have hidden in these caves, or somewhere just like this before he shuffled across the border to his fate. I try to keep my gaze trained on the uneven ground, each step exact. My nerves are beginning to get the better of me. I try to pretend this is nothing. There is no 5,000 foot drop below. Retreat into my mind, round and round, endless verses of some interminable hymn. I'm not sure how much time has passed when I hear, beyond my circling thoughts, a humming sound. The plane carves slow circles in the air, 15,000, 20,000 feet up in the sky. Ismail stops to view it through his field glasses. He passes them to Asim, who has a look and hands them to me. The plane is unmanned, with struts and flaps sticking out like limbs. It looks like some mechanical space insect and seems to be hovering in a holding pattern, emitting a flat, buzzing sound. Kira saw these, I say. That's her friend who has gone missing. I hold the field glasses out to Rafik, but he shakes his head. Ismail says, lots of drones out this way, U.S. keeping an eye on the Arab Afghans, and all the Taliban recruits coming in from Pakistan. Then they can see us too, I say. Could be watching us right this minute. The plane surely has thermal cameras. Asim says, I never can understand. They see every small thing. How can they not find the Taliban? USA has satellites. They have night goggles. They have helmets. They have boots. Talib dudes, they're wearing sandals. USA dudes are in helicopters. They are in tanks. Talib dudes, their truck is always breaking. Their guns are older than me. USA dudes, they have new guns. They have wires in their pockets. I want to say, they have nightmares and cold sweats, mysterious syndromes and permanent brain injuries. No flak jackets or headlamps or night vision goggles prevent any of that. Asim has stopped on the trail. And why do they walk like that? He hunches his shoulders, shifts his jaw out, lifts his arms out slightly to the sides, legs apart, as if puffed with invisible muscles. With each slow step, his shoulders seem to roll forward, arms never touching his sides. Are they hurt? What is hurting them? He isn't joking. He truly looks perplexed. But how can I give a speech on American masculinity when I'm not to speak, when I have barely enough oxygen to breathe? And what do I know, really? We rest at a clearing before a glimmering lake. According to Rafik, we're nearly there. The slanting sun is strong here above the tree line. The lake quivers in the mountain air. Though my skin is cool to the touch, my brow is moist, and sweat has pooled in the shallow cleft at the center of my bra. Even my hands are sweaty, knuckles stinging where the skin is cracked. My lips too feel parched. When I lick them, I taste salt. Ismail removes the pack for a break, and Asim and Rafik light cigarettes. Rafik stretches his arms, wipes his forehead with the end of his turban. Veins pulse across the muscles of his hands. His beard glistens from sweat. In the sunshine, his good eye is brighter, a sparkling green. Ismail tells me what they're discussing. Rafik's daughter is addicted to opium. She's been stealing from her husband, selling off his belongings, so her husband sent her back home. I tell Rafik I'm sorry about his daughter. Addiction's a problem in my village too, I tell him. Crystal meth. My son's mother died from it. She has an adopted son, whom she was a foster mother. I don't mention the selfish relief I felt knowing she was gone for good. Ismail translates this for Rafik, who says that methamphetamine is a problem here too. Leaning closer, forearms on thighs, he tells me about his family, 3 sons and 2 daughters. I keep expecting Ismail to join in, but he just translates for the 2 of us, never speaking of his own life. I ask Rafik if he was born in the village where we met him, if his parents are still alive, but Rafik isn't sure where he was born or exactly how old he is. When they finished their cigarettes, the men go down to the water to wash for afternoon prayers. I follow to where the water's edge is lacy with ice. The lake looks like something in a movie, its shimmying surface, a dark quivering mirror. That's how I glimpse myself, this odd new version of myself. In turban and tunic and loose pants, the baggy clothes make me look skinny, curveless, and for a moment I'm reminded of our neighbor Jory back home, her slender, androgynous look. With the water blurring my wrinkles, I see in my reflection a lanky boy of 20. And I'll stop here.